Okay, we're getting past the lunchtime here, and here's what we've got so far. So I got the front put in, and I'm showing the roughest side just to kind of give you guys a vibe for what's going on. When I'm working with these pallet staves is what I'm calling them, but they're the 2x type materials. They're usually only like 36 or 48 inches long, and I needed them to be 60 inches long in order to meet that jack or that king stud right there. So I've sistered quite a few pieces here together. They are all tied. If you can see where like there's a looks like almost a shim in between the two, they're all tied together with 10 penny nails. So they're rolling number 10s all the way through. And going up to the top edge here, where there's a little bit of a gap at the front, that was just a bad cut on my part, but it is touching at the back edge there and traveling that weight all the way down to the frame, the subframe here. I'm learning a little bit about framing as I go, so I know it looks rough, but like, it's a woodshed, so I get a little bit of a pass there. This 45-degree angle is for structure, but it wasn't necessary. It was just there. I put it on last just to make sure everything else was already solid. So this cross member here is 45 inches long, inset 5 inches, so 2.5 on both sides. And so that's where the jack stud is. And then that's an oak member there, and I crossed the top there with a 2x3 so that I could, continue the roof structure later on in a normal way. Everything else is pretty much normal. Just this kind of mess is going on behind the scenes over here and on the other end over here. Sorry about the focus is on my finger here. I think this will make sense later on. Of course, we're going to be putting lateral slats on here, and they'll be nailed in place, so that will give some structure to it, but it's already very solid. Let's take a look at the side really quick to see what's going on with that. I'm about to wrap this section in tar paper on both sides, so this will be covered in just a second here with a wrap around the front corner. And then we're going to put slats all the way up, measured at different lengths. Later on, if the slats overlap or don't overlap properly right along this banding section here, I'm probably just going to tack on a small band there. We'll see how it goes. The tar paper will act as a rain screen. There's a gap there of about a 1/4 inch or so, and that should give it enough room to air out, ventilate, dry out, and even if it gets super rained on like it did over the week. So it was rained pretty heavily over the week, and this whole system is already dry, and it's only about a day afterwards, so I'm not too worried about it. This should be kind of a cool project once done, but it's got a long ways to go.